Good morning. Greetings from BMS College of Engineering, Bangalore. In this module, we shall see another method of efficiently computing the discrete Fourier transform, and that is known as the DIF-FFT, which stands for decimation in frequency fast Fourier transform. And in this algorithm, what happens is the input to the algorithm x of n is a natural order, and the output is going to be in the bit reversed order. And because the output is in the bit reversed order, which output always gives us the frequency components, and hence it is known as the decimation and frequency method. Decimation and frequency method of computing the discrete Fourier transform. So let us try to see how this method of efficient computation is based on. So here we shall consider. So we know that given x of n, and its say the discrete Fourier transform is x of k, and x of k is given by sigma n equal to 0 to n minus 1 xn e to the power of minus j 2 pi nk by n. This is our expression. Now what we'll do is we'll just split into two terms, two summations. N by 2 minus 1 x of n e to the power of minus j 2 pi nk by n plus sigma. And so here I am taking summations from 0 to n by 2 minus 1. So the remaining, so from n by 2 to n minus 1 is what is the second summation, x of n e power minus j 2 pi nk by n. So I have not done anything. We are just taking the first half in one sum and the second half in the other sum. Now what we will do is we will try to make both of them run from 0 to n by 2 minus 1. So let me take this going from 0 to n by 2 minus 1 x of n e to the power of minus j 2 pi nk by n plus, what I will do is the second summation also I will make it run from 0 to n by 2 minus 1, in which case I need to make suitable changes for n everything. So now my n now becomes n by 2 plus n and e to the power of minus j 2 pi. Again this n will become n by 2 plus n k by n. So because I am running the summation for the same, I want both the summations to go from 0 to n by 2 minus 1. So I make these changes. Now here I have two terms. So let's write this again. So what we have now is my x of k. My x of k is given by this, and here I can split this as two terms. E power minus j 2 pi n gets cancelled, 2 gets cancelled. So this, if I just want to, let me just try to split this and write it as two terms. So I will just take the yes, I have e power minus j 2 pi n by 2n as one term k, and the other term is e to the power of minus j 2 pi n k by n. And what happens to this term? N gets cancelled, 2 gets cancelled, and this was just a temporary reference. So now this term becomes minus 1 to the power of k. So now what we have is x of k is equal to sigma n equal to 0 to n by 2 minus 1 x of n e to the power of minus j 2 pi n k by n plus sorry, this is summation with respect to n, and this one reduces to minus 1 to the power of k. So this becomes minus 1 to the power of k sigma n equal to 0 to n by 2 minus 1 and x of n by 2 plus n into e to the power of minus j 2 by n k by n. That's all we have. Now what we will recognize is when, because we have a term minus 1 to the power of k. And how did we get this? Because of this summation. This term becomes minus 1 to the power of k, and everything else remains the same. Now what we recognize is this is also going from 0 to n by 2 minus 1, and this term is same, and both are very similar. So I can rewrite my result as x of k equal to sigma n equal to 0 to n by 2 minus 1, and I have here x of n as one term plus minus 1 to the power of k and x of n by 2 plus n, and this is going to e power minus j 2 pi n k by n. This is what we have. So there are some, and this summation we can recognize it as very similar to computing a DFT. So now what we will do is this because we have a minus 1 to the power of k, I will take two cases. Case 1 is when k is even. When k is even, let us say 2 to the power of m. Suppose k is even and 2 to the power of m, then this summation, now what happens to this summation is I have k equal to sigma n equal to 0 to n by 2 minus 1 x of n minus 1 to the power of k, k being even will become a plus x of n by 2 plus n and e to the power of minus j 2 pi n. What is k? K is 2m by n, which I can once again write it as sigma n equal to 0 to n by 2 minus 1 x of n plus x of n by 2 plus n and e to the power of minus j 2 pi n k by n by 2. So this 2 I can bring it down, and this we can recognize the expression of an n by 2 point DFT. Summation going 0 to n by 2 minus 1. So summation going to this one, and similarly e power minus j 2 pi n k by n by 2. So this we can recognize as an n by 2 point DFT of x of n plus x of n by 2 plus n. So similarly, when k equal to odd, what happens to our okay, let's take k equal to odd. Put k equal to odd and say 2m plus 1. So now my k is odd and it is 2m plus 1. Then my x of k is going to be sigma n equal to 0 to n by 2 minus 1. And here I have x of n minus, because n is odd, minus 1 to the power of k is a minus, and this is n by 2 plus n. And then I have a term, I have e to the power of minus j, or okay, e to the power of minus j 2 pi n k. What is k? 2m plus 1 by n. And now this I can then I can write it as e bar minus j 2 pi n 2m by n. So this I can now write, I have one term which is given by e to the power of minus j 2 pi n m by n by 2. Very similar to what we had earlier. And there is one more term. And what's the other term? E to the power of minus j 2 pi n by n. So except for this term, the first for n equal to even, we got this expression x of n and e power minus j 2 pi n k by n by 2. And here also it is very similar. Sorry, not an nk, it will be nm. Because we have replaced n by m, sorry for that. This is going to be nm. N e power minus j 2 pi nm by n by 2. And similarly here, so this is one term. So now what we recognize is I can split my input and as the first half and the second half, and I can take the first half and compute implement this equation, and similarly I can take and keep on splitting every result as the first half and the second half, and finally I get my result in the bit reversed order, and that's a multiplying factor. There is, in addition to that n by 2 point DFT computation, we have a multiplying factor given by e power minus j 2 pi n by n. So now let's consider that I take this notation. Let us say a basic computation of a 2-point DFT. I take it in this manner. Let us say if this is A and if this is B and if the branch gain is a W, I am going to get this output as A plus B, and this is going to be A minus B into a W. This is my basic computation for the DIF FFT algorithm. So now let us try to translate this equation into a suitable graph for a 2-point DFT. So we have two equations. So let's take the two equations that we have. We have one equation given by this. This for let's try to draw it for n equal to this is my x of k for k even, and for k odd we have got this expression. This is what we have got for k odd. Okay, odd. So now let us try to convert this equation into a suitable signal flow graph for a 4-point DFT. Let us take n equal to 4. Let us take n equal to 4. So now I am going to have I have my four inputs. They are all given in order x0, x1, x2, x3, and this is my first computation. And I have another computation in this manner. Now let us take the first equation. What's my first equation? Here k equal to 0 and xn plus xn. So k so in the first case, now I compute it, and what I have is x of n plus x of n plus 2. So n equal to 0. Put n equal to 0, and what I get, x0 plus n by 2 plus 0. So this one I need to add them, and that is the result I get. And there is no branch gain; it comes as such. And here it is x0 minus x2. I get the output. And in the next case, when n equal to odd, in the first case n equal to 0, so e power minus j0 is going to be a 1. So this is going to be a summation x1 minus x3. So this is what I get, x1 minus x3 is what comes here. And here it is going to be x1 minus x3, but multiplied by what term? E power minus j, n equal to 1. So e power minus j 2 pi by 4. That is nothing but e power minus j pi by 2, which is a minus j. So this is my branch gain of say gamma, where gamma is equal to e to the power of minus j 2 pi by 4, which is equal to minus j. This is the branch gain. So this is my first stage. And do I get my output as x of k? I only get an intermediate stage, which is going to give me some result. And this result, we recognize it as a 2-point DFT. So now whatever I get from this is what I have implemented the first stage. Now this is recognized not as the final output, but as a 2-point DFT of my sequence. So for this I need to compute a 2-point DFT. So let's compute the 2-point DFT of what we get. So this is, we know how to compute the 2-point DFT. So this is my say 2-point DFT. And what's the output I get? I'm not going to get it in now. I'm getting in the first half I've had my k as even, and so I'm going to get x of 0 and x of 2, because that's how we did. Our equation is for k 0. Later on we have for k odd. So that is going to be x1 and x3. So this is how we have the basic computation of the 4-point. This is for 4-point DIF FFT algorithm. So let's try to do this problem for taking a particular example. So let's define a problem as. So let's take an example. Say x of n is say 4, 3, 2, 1. And the question is to compute the 4-point DIF FFT. So let's do that. So we need to get this basic diagram. So let's put the values. So what we have is we are having my input as 4, x0 is 4, x4 3, 2, 1. Input is a natural order. And how is my output? How do I get this? This is going to be, I need to consider this green 2-point computation. So this is going to be 4 plus 2. 4 plus 2, that is going to be a 6. And this is going to be 4 minus 2, and that is going to be a 2. Similarly, how do I get the orange 2-point computation? This is going to be a 3 plus 1, and that is going to be a 4. Whereas this is going to be a 3 minus 1 into gamma. And how much is gamma? Minus j. So that is going to be 3 minus 1 is a 2 and a minus 2j. So now let's go to writing the output. X of 0. X of 0 is this 2-point computation. So 6 plus 4. 4, that is the 10. And how about the next one? 6 minus 4, that's a 2. And how about x1? This plus this. So this is a sum. The 2-point computation, 2 plus minus j, that is 2 minus 2j. And this is going to be 2 minus of 2j, that is 2 plus 2j. So this is what I have. So now I need to put the output. So let's write the output. How do I write my output? So now my x of k, I need to write them in the order. So x0 is 10, then x1 is 2 minus 2j, then x2 is a 2, and x3 is a 2 plus 2j. So this is what we have. So this is how we get, and let's verify the result. We have done this problem a number of times, but still let's verify the result. We have our xn as 4321, and let's compute the DFT of this xn, a 4-point DFT. And what we get is 10, 2 minus 2j, 2 plus 2j. So we get the same result, and we have done this problem earlier also. So let's take one more example for the same computing the 4-point DIF FFT. So now we will change our problem. Let's take the question as compute the 4-point DIF FFT of x of n, and let us take x of n is complex. Say 10, 2 plus 2j, 2 minus 2j. What's my sequence now? I've taken the complex conjugate of x of k. I took a sequence, I computed the DFT, and now I'm taking the complex conjugate. So 10 as such, 2 minus 2j, I put as 2 plus 2j, 2. So now in principle, when I do this and take the conjugate of the result and divide by n, I should get back my sequence. So let's just try that. So now we want again do a DIF FFT. So let's get the basic diagram below. And we'll put the values and compute the result. So this is it, and this is my input sequence. Okay, let me get the whole thing here. So this is what we have. We have the input sequence as. So now let's write the input. My input is always given in order. So my input is going to be 10. X1 is 2 plus 2j. X2 is a 2. And X3 is a 2 minus 2j. So now let me compute the first one. This is x0 plus x2. So 10 plus 2, that's going to be a 12. And this is going to be 10 minus 2, that's an 8. And here it is going to be sum of these two, 2 plus 2j plus this. So 2 plus 2, that's a 4. 4. And this is going to be a subtraction. This minus this 2j minus 2j is going to be a 4j. A 4j multiplied by minus j. So it's 4j into a minus j, and that is minus j square is minus, that's going to be a 4. So now let's see the output, the final result. So this is going to be a 2-point computation, 12 plus 4. So this is my x of 0, that is 12 plus 4 is 16. Then 12 minus 4 is an 8. Then this is 8 plus 4. That's a 12. 8 minus 4 is a 4. So now this is what we have. So now if I want to write my x of k, it is going to be x of 0 is 16. Then x1 is 12. Then x2 is 8. And x3 is 4. And if I take the complex conjugate, and divide by n, if I take the complex conjugate and divide by 4, what I get is 4, 3, 2, 1, and so we get back the original sequence xn. So we have now seen how to compute the 4-point DIF FFT algorithm. So now let's proceed, extend the same logic, and let's go to evaluating an 8-point DIF FFT algorithm. So let's try to see an 8-point, say an 8-point DIF FFT algorithm. So I need to first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 and 8. So this is my first stage. My second stage. And my third stage. So 3 stages. So now first let us see the first stage. First stage, I need to x of 0 plus x of n by 2 plus n. So that is why x of 0 gets combined with, if I write this as x0, x1, x2, x3, x4, x5, x6, x7. If I look at that equation, then x1 gets combined with x5. Next, x2 with x6. So that's how we have this computation. And then we have an x3 with x7. And we have the branch gains. This is going to have this has the branch gain. The lower branches have a gain. This is going to have a branch gain of a 1. The next one is going to have e to the power of minus j 2 pi n by 8. So gamma. This is going to be gamma square. And this is going to be gamma cube. This is going to have a branch gain of gamma cube. So let's write these corresponding outputs. The corresponding outputs. So let's come. They'll be computed depending on the input signal. So this completes the first stage computation, and next let's do the second stage. Second stage involves 2 4-point computations. So this is one, and say this one. And say so the 2-point computation, and then we get the corresponding result. And the final stage, they are all a 2-point computation. So this is one 2-point computation, and say this is one 2-point computation, a 2-point computation, a 2-point computation. I'm using a similar color for every 2-point computation. So and this whole figure looks so colorful. And how about the branch gain? The branch gain for the second stage, this has a branch gain of a 1, the first one, and this has a branch gain of a gamma, which is a minus j. Here it's a minus j. And similarly, here the branch gain, here there is a branch gain of minus j, and this of course is a branch gain of 1. And finally we get the output. And since with the input is in order, the output is not in order, and so the output is now, say this is x0. First we get all the even, x2, x4, x6, and then we have the odd terms, x1, x3, x5, and x7. Output in the bit reversed order, and these are the computation. And how about the gamma? Here my gamma is e to the power of minus j 2 pi by 8. and that is nothing but 0.707 minus j 0.707. Next, gamma square. Gamma square is going to be e to the power of minus j 2 by 8, and that is e power minus j pi by 2, which is a minus j. And next we have gamma cube, and that is given by e power minus j 2 pi 3 by 8, and that is minus 0.707 minus j 0.707. The circle that we imagine, the gamma is lying on the circle. So this completes our 8 point. Drawing the signal flow graph, or this is also known as the butterfly diagram, for computing the 8-point DFT. So now let's take up an example and evaluate the 8-point DFT of a sequence. Let's take a numerical example. So let's take an example. Say the example is to compute the 8-point decimation in frequency FFT of a sequence xn which is obtained by sampling the signal, say cos 2 pi t plus sine 4 pi t using a sampling interval of t is equal to 1 by 8, or a sampling frequency of fs equal to 8. And then when we do this, let us see what happens. We need to compute the sequence x of t. So now if I take my first signal, this is going to be 1.707, 0, minus 0.707, minus 1, minus 0.707, 0.707, plus this is going to be a 0, 1, 0, minus 1, 0, minus 1, 0, 1. And that gives me x of n equal to 1 plus 1 is a 1. I mean 1 plus 0 is a 1. 1.707, 0, minus 1.707, minus 1, minus 1.707, 0. No, this is, sorry, and this is a plus, and this is a minus 1, yes, 0 plus 1. So this is going to be minus 1 plus 1 minus 0.707 is a 0.303, and this is minus 0.303. So this is what I have my input sequence xn as, which is derived by sampling an analog signal using a sampling frequency of 1 by 8. This is frequency of 8 or sampling interval of 1 by 8. So let's write down my input sequence here. So my input sequence x of n. This is a 1. X1 is 1.707. X2 is a 0. X3 is a minus 1.707. X4 is a minus 1. X5 is 0.303, and this is a 0, and this is minus 0.303. So this is what we have, and let's try to do the computation. So let's take this blue color computation first. So I need x0 and x1. So this is going to be 1 plus minus 1, that is going to be a 0. Next, the same 1 minus of -1, that is going to be a 2. Next, if I take the orange computation, it is going to be 1.707 plus 0.303, that is a 2. And this is going to be 1.707 minus 0.303, that is going to be 1.414. Say 1.414 into gamma. And that I think, yeah, we will check that. This is 1 minus j. And similarly, if I take the blue computation, this is 0 plus 0 and 0 minus 0. Into that, the pink computation, if I take, this is going to be minus 1.707 minus this, that is going to be a -2. And here it is going to be minus 1.707 plus this one, that's going to be 1.414 into gamma cube. Let us see how much is that. 1.414 into gamma cube, that is going to be minus this one, that is -1 minus j. So this is going to be -1 minus j. And this is -1. So now this completes our first stage computation. Now let's go to the second stage computation. Here let me consider this blue computation. So this is 0 plus 0, 0 minus 0, 0. Next take the orange computation. 2 plus -2, that is again a 0. 2 minus of -2, that's going to be a 4. 4 and multiplied by a minus plus 1 plus j. There was a minus 1.414 gamma cube, and so now when I take the addition, yes, so let's when I take so this is going to be 1 minus j plus this is 1 plus j. So that's a minus sign, so 1 plus j, and so this is going to give me a 2, and this is minus, so minus and then multiplied by this is a this minus, this is a minus 2j into a minus j. So minus 2j into a minus j. So this is going to be j square minus minus plus. So this is going to be -2. So this is what we have. And now finally coming to the last stage. The last stage, I have this as this is x0. This is 0, 0. 0 plus 0, 0 minus 0. This is going to be 0 plus, so this x2 is going to be minus 4j. And this is going to be this minus this. And that is plus 4j. And x1 is 2 plus 2, that's a 4. This is 2 minus 2, that's a 0. And finally, the last one, this plus this is a 0. And this minus this is a 4. So this is what we have the result as. So now we need to write down the final result x of k. How is my result x of k? X of 0. X of 0 is a 0. We have x of 0 as a 0. Then x1. X1 is a 4. X2 is a minus 4j. X3 is a 0. X4 is a x4. X4 is a 0. X4, X5 is a 0. X6 is a 4j and x7 is a 4. This is the final result we are getting, and this result is what we know already. That is, we have taken a cosine signal of one frequency and a sine wave. So if I try to plot my magnitude spectrum, how is my magnitude spectrum? If I plot my magnitude spectrum, at 1, it's a 4. At 2, the magnitude is a 4. 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. 6 and 7 also the magnitude is a, and all other terms are 0. So this is an expected result, a magnitude being 4. Similarly, if I take the angle, angle x of k, what I have is angle x of k. For 1, it is a 0. For 2, the angle is minus pi by 2, and then all zeros. And at 6, against an angle is plus pi by 2, and all 0. So when do we get a, what does it say? So by looking at the magnitude and phase spectrum, I recognize that I have a cosine signal of one frequency and a sine signal of frequency 2. Because the sine signal is delayed from the cosine by a 90 degrees. So that is what we get. We already knew this result, but when we did the DFT and we get the result, we get it. So we get the same result. So this only shows that we can compute the spectrum from the DFT, and this is a known result. And this is another method of computing the DFT by using the DIF FFT algorithm. So now to summarize, we have seen two FFT algorithms. We have seen the DIT FFT algorithm and also the DIF FFT algorithm. And both are applicable only when n is a power of 2. And in the computational complexity reduces to n times as compared to a typical computation of n square. And hence, because they reduce the computation complexity, they are known as the FFT algorithm. So then algorithms exist for when n is not a power of 2 as well, but that we shall not take up. And as we have seen, if I'm in general, if I'm having a sequence xn, and if I want to compute the FFT of a sequence xn, let us say xn is of some length m. I can always choose the nearest n, which is a power of 2, and compute the endpoint DFT. So it's not a problem. Similarly, the only place that I'm not allowed to append any number of zeros is when I'm trying to use DFT towards computing the convolution sum. And here again, we have seen the overlap and overlap same methods of computation. So I can choose an n such that n is the power of 2. And so having this algorithm as n as a power of 2, I can address all the problems that I will really face in solving real situation. In the next module, we will take some more examples. In the next module, we'll take some more examples of computing the discrete Fourier transform, and we shall try to observe the spectrum of some practical signals. Thank you.